Hi, I'm Wygand with another Unfashion Yourself video, and today we're going to talk about the problem with moderation. Well, there are three main things that I found that moderation is a big issue. The number one, moderation takes you out of focus. You know, like when you decide to do a program, when you decide to do a goal or anything like that, it's very important to remain focused on that goal. And whenever you say like, well, I just gonna do, you know, like I just gonna eat this or that, just in moderation, you just open a window for going back to where you were before. And the problem is, let's say you do 5 days of a really good health lifestyle and stuff like that, and then you go and you eat a crappy food and you feel really bad the next day, and the chances of you not going back to where you were before and just like, hey, you know what, I just gonna, you know, like I cheated already once, might as well cheat it again, and I will restart on Monday. And then Monday comes, you didn't restart, or you try to restart and then 3 days later you falling back to the same thing. So moderation a lot of the times will take you out of your focus. Second problem with moderation is it might bring you back for the old patterns, just like taking you out of focus is, for example, if you want to break a pattern that, or break a cycle that you're always into it, and whenever you, because every change in life is gonna be uncomfortable. So the big issue is you gotta look for comfort, and when you look for comfort, the chance you open another window of going back to your old patterns, because it's gonna technically feel good, you know, but, and that's another big issue, is like whenever you do something new, you gotta let time for your body to feel good again on that new, on that change, the change you. For example, you know, like when I started to stop smoking, for example, and I wanted to become a professional athlete, when I didn't say like, oh, I'm gonna smoke with moderation or this and that, and I knew it that, you know, if I spend like a week or so without smoking, the minute that I put a cigarette back on my mouth, I will be smoking again, and then I will just come back, because that's where it's gonna feel comfortable for me. So it's very important to let your body clear out everything, so he knows how it's to feel good on the new way that you're doing things. For example, if you're changing your diet, it's gonna take a while until you actually feel really good, and to a point that, you know, like if you cheat or if you do something that you're gonna actually feel bad. But if you do it too soon and you're thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get in this weight loss program and, you know, I'm gonna do stuff in moderation. So if you wait for so long, for a long period of time, when you cheat, actually is gonna be beneficial for you, because you're gonna be like, you know what, I felt so bad when I ate that food that, you know, like I don't even want to eat again. That's a good thing. But when you change, when you know, like say, oh, everything moderation, in the beginning, you just open a window to go back to your comfort level. So that's really, really bad. So that's one of the worst things you can do when it comes to moderation. It might kicks you back old addictions. And when I talk about old addictions, I'm not talking about just drug addiction, or I'm talking about patterns, like even food. Food is highly addictive. So especially if you're cutting out sugar and you put a little bit back sugar back again, you're gonna want to eat all the sugar in the world. That happened to me like plenty times before, where I like, oh no, especially after my son was born, I was like, okay, I just gonna do things in moderation. I'm not raising professional anymore, and I will eat a little bit of sugar here, and then when I saw I'm eating like a whole other bunch of sugar, and that's what happened. Like when I realized I was already like 40 pounds overweight, like just like that. So that's a big issue with moderation as well. It might bring it out like old addictions and stuff like that you're not really, it's not really healthy for you. Like when I started to think that way, I started to relate my stress with food, and just that came back in a second. And like I lost weight my first time back in 2003, and from that period to until 2016, I wasn't attacking food like I started to. And the minute that I said like, oh, I'm just gonna do a few things here in moderation and try to relax a little bit, when I saw, I was already 40 pounds overweight. So that's a big another big issue, because it might brings it back a lot of addictions for you. And it's like I tell everybody, you don't tell people to just snort cocaine in moderation. You don't tell an alcoholic to drink in moderation. And sugar is the same. So when it comes to moderation, you really got to look at it. Okay, is that gonna make me lose focus? That's the first thing, like, because it's so easy, and I see it all the time. That's why Monday is the International Day for starting diet. 52 weeks a year, Monday is always the day that you're gonna start the diet. And that's the main reason. Like, you do the diet Monday to Friday, and then you comes on Saturday, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna do a cheat meal. You cheated, the next day you cheated again, and then Monday you cheated again, and so on and so on, and then you never started the process. So that's the first thing you gotta ask, is that's gonna make me lose focus. Second thing is that gonna make me go back to my old patterns? Like I said, every time you do something for yourself. It can be fitness, it can be nutrition, it can be whatever. You gotta let your body get used to with the new pattern. So it's gonna feel really uncomfortable. Usually 21 days to 6 weeks is the period where you can kind of break it up and start feeling good with the new process. So you got to make sure that if that moderation is not going to bring you back to where you were before. And then the third thing is you need to see if that's not going to bring back any addictions that you had. And like I said, I used to be like this. I used to rely on food whenever I was stressed. And I did that sometimes when I was an athlete. But on that time, first of all, I was younger. Second, I was exercising like crazy. So I knew at any little thing, I couldn't burn it off. But the moment that I stopped and I had a lot more stress and a lot of different challenges in my life, and I started to say like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna eat that cake in moderation. And I would eat a piece of cake, and when I saw the whole cake was gone, I felt like crap. And again, when I saw later on, I was already like 40 pounds overweight. So that's the big issue with moderation. You really gotta think if it's gonna take you out of focus, and if it's gonna bring you back for the old patterns, and if it's gonna bring you back any old addictions that you had. And to be honest, there is nothing wrong sticking to your goals and not being in moderation. I tell everybody, if I had thought in my life of doing everything that I did in moderation. For example, my big change in my life, not only this one now that I lost a lot of weight, but the one before that I lost 100 pounds and I quit smoking. If I have done saying like, you know what, I'm gonna stop smoking in moderation and I want to become a professional athlete. If I wasn't extreme and if I wasn't like so focused on my goal, I won't have an achieve. I will be by now smoking and not have done anything with my fitness, with my professional. I will haven't done my dream of being a professional athlete. That's as simple as that. So that's why I think moderation a lot of the times is crap. Okay, so remember, unfashion yourself. And if you like my videos, subscribe. Next week, most likely I'll be launching my a podcast talk with the dietitian that is, she's a specialist in ketogenic diet for for kids with G-tube and with rare diseases. So she changed my son's diet and with great success, and we're gonna have a talk. I'm recording the talk tomorrow and it should be really fun, so stay tuned. It's gonna be a really nice talk. So if you are wondering about ketogenic diet, high fat for kids and stuff like that, you should listen to it. Thank you.